Happy April Fool's Day, everyone. How are you doing? I've missed you guys. It's been a while. There's been so many crazy things going on. Oops, hold on one second. Okay, I think we're live. So much crazy things. We're going to actually start with It Ends With Us, and then I'll explain the judge's part next. So this is just a reminder, tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern, we have a hearing that you can dial into. And so this is the information. Let me make sure it's showing. You guys can see that. So this is going to be interesting. I think it has to do with all that, what is it, like thousands of pages of discovery or whatever. It should be interesting. They typically have a lot of audio issues. So just be patient, call in. This is the code. And I'm definitely going to be covering this at some point. Either tomorrow I'll do it live on my X or do some sort of summary after. This was really cool. I just found this out today thanks to CJ. I didn't know Stephanie Jones blocked me. I'm like, when did this happen? So CJ learned this today, that she was blocked by Stephanie Jones because she was trying to find something. Well, Jonesworks. And I was like, oh, really? So then I checked and I was blocked. And I just wish I had known this so much sooner, because I would have made so much content out of this. Because my very first video on this channel is, I think it was titled, It Starts with Stephanie Jones, because I personally think that the Van Sham sisters are the reason we're all here. And I personally, in my opinion, believe that she got Lively to fight her battle for her. But I guess we'll watch it all play out. But honestly, it was such an honor to be blocked by her, because I'm just like a little channel, just a tiny little X account. And I must have done something right to get that Wicked Witch to block me. So how cool is that? Oh my goodness gracious. So we have everyone here. Hello, hello. And Khaleesi, wonderful mod, became a member. This is her second membership, I think, because you are a member on your other account as well. So I'm so honored. Thank you very much. I always appreciate your support. And hey, Wrath. Hey, Quarter Fate and Kinney and Gelth. And I see Christina. How is my other beautiful mod? So let me keep going. Hey, did anyone... Oh, at the beach, how are you? Did I miss anyone? I hope I said hi to everyone. Did anyone have any good, by the way, like April Fool's pranks today? Because I didn't. But, well, I kind of did, but not really good. Yeah, the Van Sham sisters, they are. That's what I'm calling them. I think this whole case, I think Van Sham is like my Roman Empire, always will be. And, I don't even understand the point of her blocking me, because she can still see the content, which I'm glad, because she really should. Like, I think I did a very good job pointing a lot of things out that maybe she could learn from. So anyways, judges behaving badly. Okay, so yesterday I made this post on X because that clip went around about the judge that was very rude to the IT guy who was helping him. So we'll watch that clip really quick. And then I was looking into it, and I found emails from a complaint that someone filed against him from last August. And when I posted that, it went viral. And so let's first watch this clip. Oops, I didn't do this right. Hold on. I have to share this tab.
You don't. And you're disjoined from the audio. You don't. And you're disjoined from the audio here, right? Yeah, should be. Let me see. Sorry. Mariah, did I make this up? No. 5 seconds. 1 second. You don't have to go far. You're disjoined. Okay. Yeah, you're good. Okay. False alarm. No, it wasn't a false alarm. False negative. Sorry. Don't joke around. I'm serious about this. It was happening. Again. I understand. I'm just saying I can't see it, sir. We're good. Thank you. Get out of my courtroom. Find his supervisor. Jesus Christ. Sick and tired of this bullshit today. You don't. And you're disjoined from the audio.
Like, so rude, right? So rude. So I wanted to know more about it. So of course it's Judge Nathan J. Milliron. And I found this Instagram account that had like a bunch of emails that he wrote, and it kind of proved that this wasn't just a one-off. So this was my post. And so that I am told that once it gets over 300,000, it's considered viral. Is that true, you guys? So anyway, so this was the one. It's always the weirdest things. It's like, I mean, I just kind of randomly posted this and then it got picked up. But so anyways, what I said was Judge Nathan Milliron doesn't just berate IT staff. He appears to have a problem with his clerks and using his position to threaten anyone who disagrees with him. This is just one email example, but check the source for even more. And so I put the source here and we're going to go through them. But you know what's interesting about this to me is that like normally when you put a link like in your main post, it doesn't it like is bad for the algorithm and you know, quote unquote algorithm. But like I like to quote my source and sometimes people will be like, "Oh, you know, source in the comments," and they'll post something and then they put a link in the comments, you know, to help with attraction, whatever. But I didn't. I was just like, "Here you go." And then it got a lot of views and I got a lot of comments. So we're going to read those emails. And before we do, though, I want to go back to the chat because you guys are cracking me up. First of all, um, Kenny says, LOL, you're blocked by Jonesworks. That is amazing. Okay, I need to know who else is blocked by her. So, like, and how come I'm just finding this out now? Like, I wish I knew which, if there was a certain post or how long it's been. But I mean, I really find it to be like an honor. Like, I'm so honored. Yeah, Khaleesi says, congrats. Thank you. Quarterface says, oh, that's right. I'll be back home in time to call in. I'll be in Philly. My oldest has a tour at UPenn. Oh, how fun. You're doing college tours? I remember those days. Someone else said there was some good jokes. Gal says, April Fool's was yesterday and I fooled myself by going to the hospital. Gal, what are we going to do with you? We need to like put you in like some sort of like safety bubble or something. I hope you're okay. Kenny says, my neighbor April fooled my landlord by not moving out today and paying him all her back rent. Is that a true story? Christina says, Andy pulled one. He said that Amber Heard was going to be the Bachelorette. Oh my God, that's a good one. Andy's really creative. I could have never thought of something like that. Quarterface says, yeah, my daughter hid the caramel macchiato creamer this morning and said we're all out. That is a crisis in my eyes. That sounds like a crisis. And Christina says, and honestly, I think it would pull good numbers because even I would watch that chaos. Yeah. I mean, agree with that. That's pretty funny. I mean, I guess I kind of had one and I kind of didn't have one. Oh, Kenny just says it was true. 100% true. I was talking about her moving out my live on Sunday. Well, yeah, you know how I'm trying to save that land and like we thought we had something. We thought we had like a smoking gun and we had an emergency meeting today and like I had stayed up all night like researching it and whatever. And then in the emergency meeting today, we basically found out it's not a smoking gun, and I wanted to cry, but I was like, it's just an April Fool's joke. Hopefully, no, but it's not an April Fool's joke, it's for reals. But I had to pretend that was my April Fool's joke today. Christina says I was asking if DFJ's numbers are considered viral on X. Oh, are they? Oh, I don't know. That's just what I was told. I was told that like if it was over 300,000 that it was considered viral, but maybe I'm wrong. Don't take my word for that actually. Just wait for Christina to let us know. Okay. Anyways, I'm going to go back let's go back to these emails. So, did you guys read these emails? And could you hear the judge? Did you hear that clip? I just want to make sure that you were able to hear it. You, with the judge being a jerk to the IT guy. And yeah, there's a lot more to that. So we're going to go to these emails first. Let me see, share this one. So, and again, this is from 32 weeks ago. So from August 18th, 2025. And she says, today I'm calling out Judge Nathan Milliron of the 215th District Court in Harris County, Texas, for blatant misconduct and abuse of judicial authority. The evidence speaks for itself. Emails and text messages from Judge Milliron filed with profanity, threats, intimidation, and improper demands over district clerk staffing decisions. The judge has violated multiple judicial canons, including Canon 2A and 2B, misusing the prestige of his office and destroying public confidence in the judiciary, Canon 3B4, failing to be patient, dignified, and courteous towards court staff by using demeaning, hostile, and profane language. Canon 3C1, interfering in clerk assignments that fall under the district clerk, not a judge's authority. Canon 4A, engaging in behavior that demeans the dignity of the judicial office. Instead of focusing on justice for the people of Harris County, Judge Milliron has been consumed with power plays, clerk favoritism, and bullying staff into compliance. This is not just judicial leadership. This is corruption, misconduct, and abuse of powers. As a national renowned human and civil rights activist and advocate, I will not allow judges like Milliron to weaponize the bench, mistreat court staff, and erode public trust in our judicial system. The people of Harris County deserve judges who embody fairness, professionalism, and integrity, not hostility and arrogance. I am officially demanding that the Texas State Commission on Judicial Misconduct take swift and decisive action to hold Judge Milliron accountable. If he cannot uphold the dignity of his courtroom, then he has no business presiding over one. This fight is bigger than one judge. It's about protecting the people and preserving judicial integrity and ensuring justice is never compromised by ego or misconduct. Okay, but here's the thing. So this was back in August, right? So obviously nothing happened because we saw how he treated that IT guy. It was so rude. He asked for his supervisor for what? And it really bothers me. So we're just going to go through some of these. So it starts with just this one text, and it says, can you guys see this? Hold on, let me just check in with y'all. Yeah, you can. Oh, Christina, you said, I would consider that viral, but I don't do much on X. Well, I was just told by someone who does like social media marketing for like a really big company, and he's like, yeah, 300 is what we call viral or something. Anyways, so let me go back to these emails. Okay, so it just says, just FYI, we don't know who this person is. It just says, just FYI, they said they will send me a wedding, and he says, I'm in chambers, and he says, hold your ground. I'm now officially pissy. Don't go anywhere. Sit in my suite. Lisa can address me. Seriously, stay in your office. Lisa can kiss my ass. When you see your email, know I am fighting for you, but I hear you may have wanted to leave. If so, just tell me so I don't look stupid. And she says, hi, Judge. Sorry, I had doctor's appointment today. I've been with a huge headache since yesterday, maybe from all of the situation at work. Okay, so here we go. So this is from the judge, and he says, Miss Snively, I appreciate you taking my call and talking with me. I need to speak with someone that can actually effectuate change. I look forward to speaking with Miss Burgess when her schedule permits early next week. In the meantime, I will re-urge that Chancesas be assigned as my lead clerk immediately. My court and its operations will not be held hostage to the ineptitude of the district clerk's office. And he signs his initials, NJM. Okay, and then he says, Brenda has expressed her preference to go elsewhere, and I will honor that. It is absolutely unacceptable that as a sitting judge, I didn't get a response to this message. Please advance this message to your supervisors. Put Chancesas in the lead clerk position for the 215th. This is not an ask. He says Brenda stays up there. He really likes this phrase. This is not an ask. I've never heard that before. And then he goes on. Okay, so this was before that. He says, Lisa and William, Lisa, you told Brenda I didn't fight for her. You didn't give me the option. This was a lie. Let me do it now. She isn't going anywhere. I appreciate you both coming to me and speaking to me about Brenda's future in the 215th. I was caught off guard. I appreciate the DCO is responsible for the clerks and where they belong, and I honor that hierarchy, but how it was done needs significant improvement. The flow of my court has been severely impacted, and there was no smooth transition. Chancesas was to be there by 10:30. You said, Lisa, never happened. She wasn't even here after 12. The change didn't need to be effective immediately. You could have given Brenda the courtesy of a few days. You could have given me the courtesy of a few days. You could have been much more compassionate and kind. Just wait. This is a real rich coming from this guy. My court is expected to operate without a lead clerk and having to wait until the hiring process is fulfilled, while another court gets the benefit of immediately getting a lead clerk. Brenda was told to clean out her office and move to Judge Hawkins the 11th, right? Her friend's personal belongings and future and furniture remain in that same office. Awkward at best, right? You can consider this an order from my court, but you will likely ignore it. It will be reflected in my court's minutes. The record will reflect that Brenda and I got off to a rocky start, but she is pulling her weight and absolutely beneficial to the 215th. She is an awesome addition to the 215th. Brenda stays with me, period. If there is a problem, bring Marilyn up and let her talk to me. My coordinator will surely schedule an appointment. But then I guess he found out that Brenda has expressed a preference to go elsewhere. So seems like Brenda didn't want to stay. So then, so here we are with this one. And he says, did you have a chance to look at the e-filings pending in the 215th? You didn't respond to me as you promised. I took the bench yesterday at 4 p.m. in a contentious hearing. None of them would have filed May 7th, I believe, if I didn't press. My court will no longer be stagnant because of DCO's ineptitude. This is no longer an ask. Get me a clerk that responds to me and does the job. I hear there are some statutes that will allow what I'm asking for. Don't make me use them. I will if I have to. Marilyn, I hope this isn't an I'm an R and you're a D thing. I think he means like I'm a Republican and you're a Democrat thing. I'm a duly elected judge of the 215th, as you know. I want the same respect as any other judge in the courthouse. I am not presently getting it. Fix this by Monday! ! So then, it's kind of weird. I don't know. Do I start at the top or the bottom? Well, I guess it doesn't matter. So okay. So Marilyn says, what time do you expect it to be over with 3 o'clock? With 3 o'clock work for everybody? And then someone else says, good evening, Miss Burgess. I have a Teams meeting regarding juvenile citations tomorrow at 2. I'm available before that time. And then it says, can we meet my office at 2? Okay, so I don't know what this is. Hold on. Okay. Judge Milliron. Okay, so this is Judge Milliron. And he says, Marilyn, I hope you realize that doesn't even sound sensical. I did ask her to cancel my... Okay, so hold on. These are going backwards. I just realized that now. Do you guys care? Should I start at the other side? Or should we just keep going? We'll just keep going. Marilyn, I hope you realize that doesn't even sound sensical. I did ask her to cancel my docket Monday through Wednesday. That has absolutely nothing to do with processing the filings. Just to explore this, if I take a vacation, nothing gets processed. Probably not. I hear there was something like 4 pages of e-filings this morning that were not processed. Chancesis was chatting with Chwaj. You were supposed to take a look. It didn't happen. I hear there was something like 24 orders that also hadn't been processed. I haven't signed anything since Thursday, so that's the real problem. My orders have to have a timely effect. We are way beyond 48 hours on all accounts. If you aren't up for the job, please let me know. This is unacceptable. You are now my only point of contact. So then she basically says, Nate, I think this is Marilyn. So I think this is like the person who does the staffing. Nathan, I've spoken with Lisa, William, and Judith Snively about your court. It is my understanding you asked Chancesha to clear your docket for this week due to your family emergency. My condolences. She told you that would mean her not processing the envelope inbox that day, and you told her that was fine. Clearing the schedule for this week had to be the top priority. Do you disagree with any of that? Our standard operating procedure is that all filings will be accepted the day of filing with a window of 48 hours for processing the filing. I have been told that none have gone past the 48-hour acceptable time frame. The opening for a lead clerk for the 215th has been posted and will close this Friday, May 16th. And that's 2025. Interviews will take place the following week, and we expect to have it filled no later than Friday, May 23rd. This is all dependent on how many applicants we have, and we never know how many we will have, but we do know clerks talk among themselves regarding how courts are run, and that affects how many people and who applies. Basically, reading through that, what she's saying is like, word gets around if you're being a jerk to your staff. Chancesis will remain in your court until a permanent lead is assigned. Additionally, due to your concerns, Lisa is keeping a close eye on filings and the envelope inbox to make sure all is processed timely. I assure you, you are not being treated any differently than any other court. We are committed to making sure every court has coverage and that filings are handled timely in accordance with our SOPs, standard operating procedures, I think. Please continue to reach out to me if you feel this is not being done. Okay. And then he says, if you submit the order to me and I sign, they need to be processed. If you got it wrong when you submitted it to me, not my problem. This isn't an ask any longer, right or wrong. They are absolutely right when my signature goes on the order. Process them. Won't ask again. Okay. And then look at this subject is question mark, question mark, question mark. Interesting, right? Hold on. I just want to make sure I didn't lose no one. Are y'all here? Is everyone around? Are you still following? It gets good. You know, this is kind of a slow burn, but we're almost there. It's gonna get cray cray. Kenny says that always happens for IT guys. You call them to fix your computer and the computer works. That's why he laughed. Right? And also, I mean, I just like, I don't know, y'all. Like, I've always been taught that you respect, you know, everyone. You're supposed to respect everyone, especially if you're in such a high authority. And I just can't. Quarterface says, "Oh, imagine being married to that man, intolerable." Well, that's what I'm saying is because like that he knows that his court, you know, that's on the record, right? Whatever he says is on the record in court. And he knew the camera was on because he's in charge of that. And then these emails, which are about to go off the rails, he knows that these are public records. Okay. So then imagine what he does when it's off the record. Imagine what he does behind closed doors. That's what makes me you know, really concerned. But we're going to keep going. Okay, sorry, I need to go back to this tab. All right. And then he says, okay, so question mark, question mark, question mark. Respectfully, no. I heard the same stuff with Brenda. You aren't the right fit for my court. You aren't the right fit. Lisa and William, you were kind enough to take Brenda from me on less than an hour's notice. I'm returning the favor. Chancesas isn't back tomorrow. Make sure I have someone else to handle my courtroom for my 8:30 a.m. docket. She clearly isn't the right fit for my docket. Deputy, Chancesas does not come into the courtroom tomorrow. My judicial authority should be just fine for this instruction. And by the way, so he's sending this out. Okay, so tomorrow. So this was on a Tuesday at like 4 p.m. So he's telling them to get him a new clerk, and then he's telling the deputy, not to let the lead the lead clerk into his court in the morning. And then they try to say, if it's okay with you, I'd like to have a discussion about concerns. And then he says, I hear you have expressed interest in being reassigned to a different court. Just please keep me in the loop with these decisions. Okay. All right. Get ready. Now we're going off the rails. And this is so funny because the subject is asking again. But remember, it's not an ask, but he's asking again. What is the clerk's status for the 215th? On one hand, I hear there is no interest. On another, I hear there is interest and HCD wants to play. I think he means Harris County District wants to play. Get me a clerk! Exclamation point. Lisa, you got an email today, right? Own it. I'm the district court judge and you're an absolutely a subordinate. You have someone that wants to be in the 215th. ... You can't stomach it. ... Right? Question mark. I will. Marilyn doesn't need to like it. ... I need to do my job. Lisa, you heard something that you didn't advance, right? I probably have the email you got. I'm much smarter than you. I will post this email. ... Mariah is assigned to me immediately. That is an order. Okay. So I feel like, did we miss some? Are these all? Yeah, well, I think that is, yeah, I think maybe that is all of them. Yeah, I guess that is all of them, but well, I thought what I had remembered was that it was like a lot more unhinged. Did we miss some of these? Did that sound unhinged to you guys? Well, okay, so we're still going. Hold on a second. But I think I did go through all those. Yeah, okay, so hold on. Let me go to this one. So then, wait, actually, let me go to this one. Oh yeah, well, we'll go back to that. Well, no, I'll say this now. Okay, so by the way, just because I do like to get all sides, I just want to let you guys know I did reach out to Judge Milliron, and I did ask, like I said, I was interested in hearing your side regarding the viral emails from you going around today. I have a true crime YouTube channel where we cover everything that happens in the courtroom, and this one really has a ton of interest. We like to look at all sides on my channel, so please send your comments by tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern, and I will include it in my coverage. You also have an invitation to join as a guest if you would like. I'll be on around 7 p.m. Pacific time. Oops, I meant Eastern time. Uh-oh. Thank you, TFJ. Well, regardless, he did not respond. So, I did try to invite him on and, I did try to get his side, but we didn't get his side. And so, yeah, hold on. I want to go to what happened now. Okay. So then, and let me open this one. So then apparently there's this uh, this criminal attorney who's semi-retired who sent Judge Milliron an email. And what he said after he saw the video of the judge berating the IT staff, it says, James Stadford, attorney at law. Incident in court. Okay, Judge, I just reviewed your incident in the courtroom on Reddit with the IT guy who you addressed your problem that you were having. I hope you issued him an apology for the way you treated him. I hope you are just having a bad day and this is not your typical judicial temperament. Have a great weekend. And he says, James Stafford, attorney at law. Judge responds, you probably shouldn't be communicating with a judge ex parte on his judicial email address. As an officer of this court, you are ordered to appear before the court on April 10th at 8 a.m. to discuss further. And then he says, I forgot the courthouse is closed on the 10th, April 9th it is. So this judge, someone just basically, they told him to apologize, okay? And instead, what this judge does is now he's ordering him to appear before his court because he's saying that it was ex parte, and it's not. And actually, oh, I really hope that this will show me the comment that I want to show you all. Yeah, here it is. Okay. So, I don't know if you guys know who this judge is. She was part of the who's that? Oh my God, I just am spacing out on her name. Remember the girl that was missing and they found her, Harmony. Remember the Harmony case? Anyways, and then she was on with the defense diaries for the Kelsey Fitzsimmons trial that we just saw. So anyways, she says she's a judge, and she said subject matter jurisdiction for a court requires a pending case or controversy. There is no pending case. As to personal jurisdiction, Stafford is not a party to any action before the 215th District Court and reportedly has never appeared as counsel, so no personal jurisdiction. The ex parte rule in judicial ethics, as I know it, prohibits communications concerning the merits of a pending or impending proceeding. Without any such proceeding, the rule does not apply and cannot be used to obtain jurisdiction over an email. Just my opinion, having been a judge for 20 years. And so let's actually go back, because I want to go back to this post, because this is what's kind of cool, is that so what this person says, because after we saw the viral clip, he's like, it gets worse this weekend after seeing the video. A veteran criminal defense lawyer with no cases in this guy's civil court wrote this judge an email telling the judge he needed to apologize. The judge responded by accusing the lawyer of making ex parte communication and ordered him to appear next week under the threat of contempt. And this is what I really like. I'm a member of the Harris County Criminal Lawyers Association Strike Force, a group of several lawyers tasked with defending lawyers against judicial overreach at a moment's notice. We'll be there to make sure this judge does not try to jail a veteran lawyer just for exercising his First Amendment rights and criticizing an elected judge's behavior. So this kind of reminds me of, I'm not sure how many of you followed the YSL trial, but in that trial, there was Brian Steele. He basically gets in a confrontation with the judge because the judge did have, no, Khaleesi says no Reddit. Not Reddit. Yeah, I think maybe that's probably what set him up. And so in the YSL, so basically in the YSL, that judge did have an ex parte communication with the prosecution, and so Brian Steele, asked the court about it and was like, "What was that about? You can't just meet with them." Hey, Lori Jane, how are you? You can't just meet with one of the parties without us. We need to be there. And so then the judge, basically, they were going back and forth, and he's like, stop, you cannot be, you will not be arguing with me about this in court. We're moving on. And he's like, no, I want it on the record. I need an answer. So then the judge holds him in contempt. I think he said something like, I hope you brought your toothbrush or something. And then Brian Steele says, well, okay, fine. Can you please make sure I'm in the same cell as my client so we can work on our case? And then he gives his jacket to the other attorneys. and so that he spends the night in jail with who am I talking about? Okay, so I was giving an example of what happened when a judge tried to hold Brian Steele from the YSL trial in contempt of court, which was not done justly. And so what ended up happening with that, if you guys remember, all of a sudden, God, what's her name? Ashley something, a really, really good defense attorney. She's the one who did the Patel case that we covered, the guy who helped the girl in Walmart. Anyways, her and like all these defense lawyers, like as a whole group, they came into the court and argued on Brian Steele's behalf. Whatever. It was a whole thing. If you followed that trial, you know what I'm talking about. But what I'm saying right now is that I think that that's what's going to happen for this. So, Lori, we're talking about the judge who was rude to the IT guy, and then a semi-retired criminal attorney sent an email to the judge saying you should apologize. And the judge, like this crazy judge who I think is like a little too high on his own supply. And yeah, I went viral. I had a post about it that got a lot of clicks. So that's why we're covering it. Cause I figured, I just seemed like a lot of people, there was a lot of, it seemed like that people really liked what was going on with this case, or there was a lot of attention to it. So I should talk about it with you all. And so anyways, that judge ordered the lawyer to appear for him in court and said that he emailed him ex parte, which is not how it works. Cause it was like, they have no crossover. It was basically just telling the judge to apologize. He doesn't care because he's almost a retired lawyer and he has no cases. The whole thing was ridiculous. So now on April 9th, so today's the 1st. So in 8 days, a lawyer who sent the judge an email saying that he should have apologized is going to appear before the judge. And I hope there's a lot of press there. But what's really cool is I think this is going to be like the YSL trial where we saw that whole group. Because this says like, what this person who posted said is that they're a member of Harris County Criminal Lawyers Association Strike Force, a group of several lawyers tasked with defending lawyers against judicial overreach at a moment's notice. So I feel like we're going to get something similar to what happened when Ashley came in with the YSL case, if you all are still following me in any way. So I thought that was all very interesting. And so now we're going to let me go back to my slides. We did that one. Okay. And by the way, this judge, he was elected and he only won by it was like 300 votes, which is really a slim margin. So I don't think anything's going to happen to him because he is an elected position and until like 2008 or something crazy. So, I just hope everyone in Harris County is paying attention and make sure that don't vote for him again because I think he's running for re-election. But this is really interesting. So it said, this person, and this is in 2023, it says debt collecting lawyer Nathan Milliron's firm doesn't have an active surety bond with Texas, SOS laws in Texas, and they have a link. And so he responds and he says, pretty sure I don't need one. I've read the finance code. Have you? Of course not. Happy to send you appropriate sites. Why don't you send me a registered agent so I can sue you for defamation? If you want to play. You won't. You have picked a fight. You will not win. Clear my name, period, or I'm going to sue you. But see, this person didn't say anything. They are saying the same thing. Like he's basically just said, you don't have a surety bond. That's all he said. And then he's saying, well, I don't need one. But it's not like, you know what I mean? So I guess this probably can't sue him. And I don't think he sued him because I did try looking up the lawsuits with this guy's name. But what I did find, and now I get why it says debt collecting lawyer, because he filed for bankruptcy last year, this guy. And we're going to get there. And the reason I know it's legit is because at some point on his own X account, he does say what his other non-work email is, okay? So on this filing, and can I just make sure you're all seeing this? Okay, good. Let me put myself down here so it's bigger. So let me go back to the slides. Yeah, so do you guys see kind of like this one matches this one? It's the same email. So I know this bankruptcy case is legit. It's him. There's other things that matched up, but I like to double, triple check, and I did. And what's funny here is I love this comment from Dr. Phil. It says, it's not the real Dr. Phil, but it says, would hate for the IT people to find this email. And I was laughing about that too, because I was thinking like, imagine pissing off like of all people, like an IT person. Like, is that why this video went viral? I'm just asking questions. of all people, I mean, maybe it just went viral naturally or organically, but also, I mean, if I was an IT person and I knew that that court was recording that during that time, and I was his buddy, and I'm like, don't worry, dude, I got your back. Let me just send this to like some people in my, like my IT group chat or something. Uh, and then I'm just saying, I don't know. What do y'all think? But I have some questions, okay? And before we get to this case, this filing I found, I want to check in with y'all. How are you guys doing? Way to make her feel insecure about her viral post, Christina. You're viral, DFJ, don't listen. Oh, am I not? Well, that's fine. I mean, maybe I'm not. That's just what I was told. Um, but maybe it's not. For me, maybe just for me it is, but it absolutely does. Well, so then, yes, this was the one. It says, "Oh my God, I'm much smarter than you." I know. That was the line when he said that. Like, and he also did say to the IT guy, like you're so dumb or like something like that. But then he also said like when in that email when he said I'm much like smarter than you, that just it totally rubbed me the wrong way. Exactly. Just Khaleesi says smart people don't need to say they're smart. Exactly. Like, that's the part I think that really bothered me the most. It was like, why are you like, not only is it so rude, but then it was really funny because people were pointing out, like, in that email, he's just saying how smart he is, and he spells email wrong. He uses the wrong your instead of like Y-O-U-R, he said like Y-O instead of like Y-O-U apostrophe R-E, he did the Y-O-U-R. Like, he had all these grammatical issues and is trying to say he's the smartest person. And it was just like, these are your clerks. Like, I mean, even some bad judges, and we know our bad judges in this chat, in this channel, but even some of those, for the most part, they understand they rely on their clerks. And it's like an ecosystem that you want to protect. You want to protect your clerks. And the fact that he was just so obnoxiously rude and would say something like that, it just and in a documented email, like in the work email. I don't know, y'all. I just realized I spelled bankruptcy wrong. I spelled it with an F. That's interesting. Oh my goodness gracious. Khaleesi. Hold on, I have to go to my starred. Just Khaleesi gave me a $10 super chat. Lemon pound cake. Oh, thank you so much. That means so much to me. And we're going to get there if anyone is around at the end of this. I have a story for why I was gone for so long. And and yeah, it has to do with little Ozzy. Some of you guys have Ozzy's next to you as your badge. And yeah, it was a really traumatic thing. And it also, I'm like $10,000 in the hole after it. And so every super chat counts. So when I say I really appreciate it, I know I sound redundant, but like, especially now, I really appreciate it. So thank you so much. Gallup, hey, DFJ, as long as you think you're viral in your own mind, that's all that matters. Even if you're more viral than my STD bacterial infection. Oh, well, you guys are so good at lifting me up. Thank you so much, Gallup. And no, it was not in my own mind. I didn't think I was viral. Okay, I was told this by someone who does marketing that said after you reach 300,000 or something, it's considered viral. But maybe it's not. Okay. Don't worry. I'm not like gonna toot my own horn or anything. Pam says, "Hi everyone, just getting in here." Well, hello. So we're talking about that crazy judge. And oh yes, thank you, Lori Jane. Everyone hit like. That would be awesome. I always appreciate that. Okay. And then Kenny says, "I feel viral at a couple hundred to do." Yeah. So whatever. I mean, maybe I shouldn't have even mentioned that part, but I just basically my whole point is that like I felt like I had to share with you all because it got like a lot of attention. How's that? Is that the right word I should use? All right. So we're going to talk about this chapter. Okay. So I'm not really super familiar with chapter or any bankruptcy, but so he also in August, okay, August 3rd, 2020, this Nathan Milliron judge, he says, excited to embark on a new chapter, proud to announce the opening of the Milliron Law Firm, PLLC. The firm stands ready and able to assist you with your civil litigation needs, okay? So it was launched in 2020, that's what it looks like. And then I went to the website and I just, was looking, here it is. I highlighted the wrong part. But, he also, how you have to update your copyright or whatever every year. So it was updated in 2024. And the firm's website, I'll share it right here, is still active. Okay. I mean, the website's active. It says about attorney, which is kind of funny because it's only one attorney. So, I'm just checking this out. It looks like, right? It seems like it's still active. So that's why this whole thing is confusing. So we're going to go to the bankruptcy filing and because he says that he doesn't have like any businesses or anything. So I have some questions, but oh, I forgot to share one more part about Judge Milliron. Let me share this. Hold on one second, and then we'll get to that filing because this was actually really good. Hopefully you can hear it because it's going to be on the TikTok. Hold on. Can you hear that? Okay, hold on a second, y'all. So this is gonna make me leave and come back in. You guys can't hear that video? No hearing? Why does this always do that? Let me just see something. Okay, so let me see if I can do. Yeah, I think even if I refresh it, it usually makes you log out and log in. Okay, so you guys, okay, let me log out and log in. Don't go anywhere. Okay, I'm gonna be right back. Okay, let me go.
Nathan
Can you hear that?
Milliron? Really? Okay. Well, we got documents here that I sent you guys. And so this was reported to me how he's being abusive.
Oops.
Well, hello. Hello, everybody. It's your good old buddy, Dr. Matthews here. So I am addressing, because I got a lot of stuff to address, right? But the main thing I want to address is this judge, very zesty, that's in Harris County. Judge Nathan Milliron? Really? Okay. Well, we got documents here that I sent you guys. And so this was reported to me how he's being abusive, disrespectful, violating judicial canons with the clerks. Like, first of all, let me make sure, Nathan, Judge, that you can't be talking to nobody like that. Especially with this stuff that I done seen with you, you are way out of line and way out of order and way out of control. And that's why I did a judicial complaint on your motherfucking ass. Because one, those women or men or whoever that's in their clerk's office don't work for you. They work for the citizens of Harris County, just like your motherfucking ass. And I'm gonna tell you right now, you gonna learn today. And I'm gonna come sit in your court too. I'm gonna see how you do with the actual citizens that come before your bench. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, and I find it interesting that the Republican Party even fuck with you. It was brought to my attention that Cindy Siegel don't even like your ass. You know what I'm saying? I have Republican friends. They told me the tea. Yeah. And then you over here want to run for appeals court? Baby, we're gonna see about that because we're going to primary your motherfucking ass. We're going to primary your ass in the seat that you in, and we're going to have somebody in that damn race, and I'm going to drop all these receipts. Because, baby, they done gave me all the tea on you. The time is out. We're not dealing with corrupt judges that's being zesty with nasty attitudes and talking to people any kind of damn way, being disrespectful, especially with that text message. How you think I got that? Baby, the people gonna give me everything. And I wonder what the Judicial Commission gonna say about you. Yeah. We sick of your shit, motherfucker. You better stop it. And you better stop it now. And everybody that works for the clerk office, whatever judge you having a problem with, you come run that to me. I'ma handle it. Bully any one of them in that county clerk's office if you want to. I'ma get on your ass. And what I mean by get on your ass, I'ma hold you accountable. So better get it right, because I'm not playing. Bye.
Yeah. So this was the one, she's the one who found all the emails. Let me go back to this tab. Okay. All right, can you guys hear me now? So yes, she was the one who got all these emails. It was reported to her. I guess she does a lot of like she does kind of like exposing corruption and stuff in the court. I mean, those nails, you guys, those nails. How does that even happen? It's like she didn't have enough fingers to put rings on, so she's like, I'm gonna put some rings on my nails. She had so many. Yeah, and that cat, was that a real cat that was up on her in the top of the screen? I don't know. But and again, this was last August, okay? So she's probably like, she's like, see, I was right. Like, she was right to call out this judge. And I love how she went off on him. I hope that she's there on April 9th for the hearing when he's supposedly going to like hold this like other lawyer in contempt for sending him an email to apologize. But I just thought it was really interesting. Hey, Bella. So you said, am I allowed to have Afro Man next to my name? Let me see you. Oh, you mean you want me to switch? So it's a badge. So basically, I think the people that were here longer, I think, have Afro Man, and then the newer ones maybe have Aussies. The whole thing was because basically it was a long story, but I was going to add it as an emoji, and I let Gelth choose if he wanted Ozzy the cat or the vampire cat, or if he wanted Afro Man, and he said Ozzy, but then I couldn't get it because I have a membership debt. I don't have enough members yet to like start adding new emojis, and so I made them into badges, and so I want to make sure Gelth had Ozzy next to his name, and so that's why I think you have let me see. That's why you have Ozzy next to your name, but he's kind of a badass. We're gonna get there at the end of this video if anyone wants to stick around and you're not bored of me yet, because he just survived a huge attack, 3 coyotes. You can imagine that, and he's laying down next to me right now, being a little angel, and we're gonna get into that story. So he's kind of like pretty cool, just like Afro Man. All right. So anyways, let's keep going. Oops. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to go to the case. Okay, so this is just my question. So this is a judge, right? So like he collects, and he was the Republican nominee, he started, I want to say it was in 2005, right? Is when he started, when he was a judge. And actually, let's just make sure we have that right. Election result. Or maybe it was in 2004. All right, here's the ballotpedia or whatever. Yeah, so his tenure is 2025 to present, and his term ends in 2025. Okay, so he's been a judge since 2025. How does a judge file for bankruptcy? Can someone explain this to me? Let's look at it. Okay, Bella, you're a cat now. Oh yeah. Yeah. And some people have Afro Man next to them, so I think that's really cool, but I can also switch them. We'll see. Okay, so let's go to this filing. So this is the docket, okay? And this is Nathan Joseph Milliron in the United States Bankruptcy Court in the Southern District of Texas. I'm just going to link this really quick in the chat in case you're really curious about all this. And so I'm just going to go this. So this was it's a voluntary petition for individuals filing for bankruptcy. Let me make sure y'all can see this. And it says, okay, so basically they ask all these questions about it. He gives like his address. And by the way, it's like he lives in an apartment, which is fine. Humble. I appreciate a humble judge. And then he says, okay, so it's chapter 13. He says, I will pay the entire fee when I file the petition. Do you rent your residence? No. So I thought that was interesting. So does he own that apartment? And then it says, are you a sole proprietor of a full or part-time business? And it says a sole proprietorship is a business you operate as an individual and is not a separate legal entity such as a corporation, partnership, or LLC. If you have more than one sole proprietorships, use a separate sheet and attach it. And he says no, which I understand because like going back to the slides, let's just see. It says that it's a see right here on his website, it says that it's a PLLC, so maybe that doesn't count. But like still, I just have a lot of questions here. So wait, let me go back to the filing. Oops, this one. He says he's not filing under Chapter 11. Do you own or have any property that possesses or is alleged to pose a threat of imminent and identifiable hazard of public health or safety? Do you own any property that needs attention? He says no. So it's just like I'm kind of confused. Oh, and then it says, how many creditors do you estimate that you owe? And he says it's the lowest amount. How much do you estimate your assets to be worth? And he says only 50,000 to 100,000, which I need to know, like, aren't campaign donations, like, are those public record? I'm just curious here. And then he says, how much do you estimate your liabilities to be? So I think this means the debt is like $100,000 to $500,000. So, I mean, again, and he filed this is last year, okay? Last May, when he was writing all those bitchy emails. And he is representing himself in this. Okay, so blah, blah, blah. So then let's go to this one. So then this is a list of supposedly the creditors, like people that he owes. So he owes Amazon Visa, Amazon Express, National Bank, Bank of America, Barclays, Capital One, Citibank, Cornerstone Home Lending, Discover Card, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Methodist Hospital, and Nordstrom's. And I'm just like, I don't know. I have a lot of questions. Like one, like you're going to be a judge, okay? Pam says, did he get divorced? That is such a good question. I can't believe I didn't even think about that. Someone needs to find this out. I will circle back around if I can find this out. Bro needs to learn how to save his bribes better. I have questions. I just have a lot of questions because like this is okay. So like, I'm sorry, but you're a judge. You should be able to handle your finances. Like when I was a very, 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 very broke college student, very broke, like I, was able to manage my finances. I wasn't just going around, charging things to a Nordstrom's card. I was like, I have to be smart about things. I was eating oatmeal like for days, like at one point, like, because like during the semester, like I had the food you could eat like at the cafeteria or whatever, but like on the breaks, like in the summer, like, I like had to super, super, super budget. And back then, I don't know how it is now, but back then you had to buy books that were like for each textbook, it was like hundreds of dollars. It was insane, really. And I'm just like, okay, if you're like a responsible person, you're a judge, okay, you're supposed to be responsible. How do you have this much debt? And he had just won an election where I imagine the Republican Party at some point, like he had donations, right? I mean, I have a lot of questions here about this judge. And then he's saying that he's so smart. I'm sorry, you're so smart, but you got yourself into so much debt. Like, I don't know. Is that a bad question to ask? Am I like not reading the room right? I just have questions. So then not only that, but then he also asks for a continuance. So then he says, comes now, judge, or comes, he just says Nathan J. Milliron, the debtor in the above referenced bankruptcy case, filed for Chapter 13 bankruptcy on May 6, 2025. At the time of the bankruptcy filing, the following documents were not filed. And then he says, Oh, he didn't file these yet. So he didn't file like his Schedule A, his property, the property you claim to exempt, creditor. Okay, so all this stuff. Copies of payment advices or other evidence of payments received, blah, blah, blah. Okay. The deadline to file these schedules and the proposed plan is May 20th. 14 days after the filing of the bankruptcy petition, Milliron is diligently working to compile the information and documentation to provide accurate and complete information to the court and adequately complete the required schedules and the proposed plan. However, the timely completion of these schedules and the proposed plan has been complicated by happenings of life. So, but I'm sorry, but like you're a judge. Okay, not at this point, he is a judge, right? Okay. Also, at this point, his law firm handles people that have like cases like this that have to deal with creditors. And so he knew by filing this what he would have to present, and it's somehow still delayed. I just have so many questions. Shortly after the filing of this bankruptcy action, Milliron's grandfather passed away in the state of Pennsylvania. Milliron's grandfather died on May 9th, 2025, and his services were ultimately held in Pennsylvania on May 13th, 2025. Unfortunately, Milliron's ability to fully complete the schedules and the proposed plan was delayed by this death and the related family and funeral obligations. Milliron respectfully requests that the court grant a brief extension of time for him to complete the schedules and proposed plan, extending the current May 20th, 2025 deadline for a minimum period of 7 days to the May 27th, 2025. Wherefore, Milliron respectfully requests the court grant a brief extension of this time for him to complete the schedules and the proposed plan, extending the current May 2025 deadline for a minimum period of 7 days to May 27th, 2025. So, I mean, this is him. I just have so many questions. I don't know, y'all. So I don't know how much deeper into that I want to dig, but I'm just saying this, I just have a lot of questions here. And I think he's also not very friendly to people in his court. And there's also a lot of footage of that. If you just look up his name and look up the court, and he had like, there was a juror that was sick for one of the cases, and he had like the sheriff's department go bring the juror in to the court. He's held several like attorneys in contempt. He doesn't grant extensions, but so I just find this whole thing, there's a lot going on here, and I have a lot of questions here. And I just want to know how this, judges make a lot of money. Isn't that public record? Should we look it up, what his salary is? I just don't understand how he's in this much debt as a judge. I just have a lot of questions. Okay. So that was all like the crazy things about this Judge Milliron. And you know what's so funny is like when I type his name in, it like what is it called? Like autocorrect wants to say million instead of Milliron. And I'm like, no, Judge Milliron is not worth millions. Apparently he's in debt despite having a law firm, despite being a sitting judge. I don't know how that happens. But I just find that like I don't find it very responsible. And he says he's the smartest person according to his own words, and I just don't find that to be very smart. That's all. So I know, yeah, he's super smart. Okay, so we're gonna finish here. I'm gonna go into what happened with Ozzy if you guys want to hear about that. Yeah, Christina, those are some crazy ass nails. Those nails are crazy. They look like talons. I know. You know, I put her in the description for replay, and I also put her in the chat if you guys want to check out her channel. She has some crazy stuff. There's like one video she carries an axe and she walks around. It's pretty funny. So, oh, that's a good question. Quarterface says, I wonder if he has a gambling problem. And, you know, I just like, he has like no emotional regulation. So maybe that has something to do with that. It's a good question. Okay, Bella, he's mean, broke, and dumb. Great. Yeah. Yeah, what a catch. I agree. Okay, Gelp Walker, just finished work time to go play in traffic on the way home. Well, you know, drive safely. Seriously, Geld, we want you to stay healthy and to stick around here if you can. All right, so speaking of things, do you guys want to hear what happened with Ozzy? Oh, I'm going to share it. So if you're here just for the anything else, maybe now you might want to check out, but I'm going to go into this. So this little emoji is based on my cat, Ozzy. Oops, I'm not even sharing it. This emoji is based on my craziest cat. His name's Ozzy, and basically, I don't know if you guys know the backstory of him, but when I was running in my neighborhood watch group, I got a lot of calls. This was like back when I was living in an apartment somewhere else, and about like most of the calls honestly were for animals. It was like stray animals, found animals, lost animals. Um, then and we did get some of this crazy security calls as well. That's a whole nother story for another day that I really probably should share with you guys at some point. But again, I still need a First Amendment attorney to review the NDA that the landlord had me sign before I share those. But going back to Ozzy, so a lot of the cats, like at that time I was living in an apartment and I had a senior cat that she doesn't really get along with other cats. So I wasn't like going to be taking in any more animals in that time. But we would help like either try to like adopt out certain animals or bring to the shelter. And again, this was during COVID and it was really hard to get vet appointments. And where I was, it was like a really strict lockdown. It was even hard to turn in animals to like the animal care and control, which we had a lot of those as well. We had some cats that like needed emergency vet care and that like, we would take to a cat sanctuary. So anyways, 2 times I tried adopting Ozzy out and he was very traumatized. Apparently, he was abandoned by some neighbors. They left him. We think they left him in a carrier because he's petrified of carriers. And but he had gotten out, and he was actually doing really good pest control because as soon as they took him in, all of a sudden people were having rat problems. But apparently the neighbors were like not good people, and I think they were abusive, and they left him in the dumpster area, and he had so many fleas. They had so many problems with him. So basically, I end up taking to get him medical care and try and get him all healthy, and I adopt him out, and he gets returned because he bites. He was like really petrified, and he has fangs, so they're not nice bites. And it happened 2 times, and so then I knew like he couldn't be adopted out because I've worked in shelters before, and I work with rescues, and I knew that like you can't adopt out a cat that knowingly bites, and so um, I was going to take him to the sanctuary, but he had too many medical problems, and the sanctuary told me there are worse things than death, and it's worse if you turn him into the ACC and then he sits like never getting adopted, or he gets adopted and like returned and adopted and returned, and they're like, it's not a life for a cat. And so I told this to my grandfather, and he's like, well, I guess God wants us to adopt Ozzy. So we took him in, and we also found out he had some kind of like his former owners had broken his spine at some point. So he has survived a lot of things. Okay. But let me tell you what happened the other day. This is okay. So last Thursday, and Ozzy's a crazy cat. Okay. But my grandfather did everything, like, especially before he died, to make sure that Ozzy was taken care of. He has like a custom catio. So he's able to go anytime he wants onto a catio. Like he has 24/7 access, is enclosed. He gets to look outside. He gets to see the birds. He gets to see all these like, hi Rose Wild, how are you doing? He gets to see he loves it. He has the sun, he has a lounge chair, he has all these levels. I mean, it's the life, okay? He has an amazing setup. He has custom cat trees because he's super hyper. You know how sometimes cats like to play in tunnels? He he is like such like a crazy cat that we actually buy like the tunnels for toddlers, like the really big ones that the toddlers can like run through when they're kids. That's what he has. We play with those ones. I mean, he has everything you could ask for. But he's also like really freaking smart. He can open doors, and we have a lot of the L-shaped handles in the house where we moved, and he knows how to open all of those. He also knows when he hears the door, when ADT announces the door, when you open it, like back door open, side door open. He sprints to the doors. Okay. So this is what I'm working with here. Okay. So we have a routine with him to get around like he's an escape artist. That's just what he does. And usually, I can run after him, whatever, but I got home really, really late Thursday night, and I was unloading something from the back of my car, which I almost never do. And I had opened the back garage door, and Ozzy opened the door in between, and he bolts out. And so then I try running after him, and it's dark. It's so dark, and he's black. And so I can like not really see where he went. So then I turn on the lights, I go inside, I get a tactical flashlight, I walk outside, and I go the direction he went. Because usually with a flashlight, by the way, if you do lose your cat at night, when you use a really bright flashlight, you can usually it will hit their eyes, and that's how you can usually find them. Or like if they have their collar, whatever. So I am looking for him, and then I see, like, on the other side, like, one coyote down the road, and I'm like, "Oh, Jesus." I was like, "Go away." Like, I'm looking for Ozzy. And then I see another one, and I was like, "Oh, shit." I was like, "That's not good." So then I start walking towards the coyotes, and then I hear this noise in the plants next to me, and a third coyote jumps out, and I walk next to the plants, and I look on the cement, and there's Ozzy. And he had been attacked, and he had, like, his whole body was limp. Like, I thought it was done. I thought he was done. He was bleeding out of his mouth. He was breathing, and I just was like, I wrapped him in a towel. I put him in the car. I called the nearest, like, vet or the nearest 24 hours, which, by the way, is so far away. And I want to know, like, why aren't there ambulances for pets, by the way? Like, I'm just curious if there's any, like, exception, if you can call, but whatever. So, but I literally, it was over 20 minutes away, and I'm speeding so fast. And I called them, and I'm like, can you take a cat that's been attacked by coyotes? And they said they could. And then halfway there, I call again, and I told them, I was like, I can still hear, he's still breathing, he's alive. Like, you guys, can you please take him? Can you make sure he's alive? And I get there, and they triage him right away. And this was really cool. So I didn't even know that this was a thing, but it's an open concept practice, which I've never been to. Have you guys ever been to, like, a vet where, like, literally the tables are in the middle of the room, and, like, you can just sit, like, right there next to your pet the entire time, and, like, all the cages, and, where they keep all the animals are alongside the walls of the area. Like, you can see everything that's going on. Like, you're never away from your animals. So I thought that was pretty cool. They do have a few private rooms, I think, for, like, private thing, like, I think other things, but, like, for the entire clinic revolves around, like, the operating tables. Um, oh, I'm so sorry you're not able to listen to this story. I'm too sensitive, but I'm glad he's okay. I'm so sorry. I should have said trigger word. Well, no, but it's a happy ending. It's a happy ending. Sorry. Basically, he survives. Like, he literally, and I had asked, like, I know Laura and Christina and Khaleesi and some other people had known about this, and I know they were praying. So I want to say thank you to everyone who was praying. CJ was praying, and I think Laura had her whole family praying. Like, so many people were praying, and I really, really appreciate that, because, like, honestly, he survived, like, all odds. But it gets good, because then he became, like, the star of this clinic. I'm so sorry that I lost Kenny, because it's a happy ending. Yeah, Ozzy's next to me right now. So when I go back to the clinic, I go to pick him up, right? And they tell me, they're like, "No, you can't take Ozzy." They're like, "We love Ozzy. He's a star." And, like, everyone wanted to see the oh, you turned the sound off? Well, this was gonna say, they're like, "We wanna see the cat that, like, survived, that fought 3 coyotes and survived," because apparently this just is not a thing that happens. And so everyone was so nice, and, like, he had, like, coyote saliva when I had found him, like, all over his head and different parts of his body. And so they just had only 1 bite wound, although he did lose about half of his claws, his nails. They're, like, lodged into some coyote somewhere. Like, he really put up a fight. But I'm telling you, this is kind of, he's a crazy cat. And it was funny, because they were telling me, they were like, if you want to help it so, like, your animals don't escape, or, like, if a cat doesn't want to escape, they're like, you should think about maybe making him a catio or something. And I was like, you guys, he has a catio. He has everything. Like, he's obviously crazy. He fought off 3 coyotes and won. And, like, he has a catio. But at the end of the day, it's always going to be the owner's fault, like, no matter what, even if it's a freak accident. And I am going, like, so I take full responsibility. And, like, this was, like, obviously things are going to change. Like, it's just something that never happens. I usually never have to open up the garage door, because I'm never usually unloading things in the back of my car anyways. But from now on, that's always going to be something I know. Like, I'm never going, if I do that, I'm going to have to make sure that the door's locked so he can't get out or something. But for going forward, we're going to have a plan. He's laying next to me right now. He definitely fought hard. And I just hope it, like, kind of brings hope to everyone at the end of the day. He's such a badass. Thank you, Jill. He totally is. Yeah, good for Ozzy. He fought hard. Um, he has major street cred. He really does. And CJ was saying, because they said no jumping for a few days, and he's already, like, jumped up on a chair because he wants to, like, sit. And CJ was like, he's working out because he wants revenge, to get revenge on the coyotes. I was like, no, we're never gonna let that happen again. He's still recovering. He has stitches, and, but thank God he's okay. And I just hope it gives everyone hope. Like, that literally, I was told that maybe, the odds were so low that this could happen, but maybe not. You just always have to have faith. And maybe there was some divine intervention. I don't know if that's a thing. Maybe we just got lucky. Maybe he's just crazy, and, like, that's just Ozzy being Ozzy. But I just want to share that, like, he's okay. And that's why I was gone. And that's also why I haven't slept, because I just keep watching him because I want to make sure he's okay. But anyways, so, but to end on a happy note, I just want to say thank you to my wonderful, amazing mods who were so understanding and so supportive. Laura, Khaleesi, and Christina. I love you guys so much, more than you even know. So I just want to say that to you all. And tomorrow, again, we do have the hearing for Blake Lively. So we're going to be going back. Was it a good story? I feel bad. I'm just like, maybe it was a stupid story and I shouldn't have showed it. And I'm so sorry, Kenny. I should have done a trigger warning, because I'm sensitive too. And I don't like to hear sad stories, but like also you guys, this part I can't explain, but like he always used to hate people, understandably. Right. And then after my grandfather died, all of a sudden, Ozzy likes to say hi to everyone. It is so weird. He used to be so scared of people. And then now, like, it's like, I don't know. There's something crazy going on there. I don't know. But so I feel, I just feel like like my grandfather somehow in him or something. I don't know. I just think that like he's a very special guy. So anyways, that was my thing with Ozzy. Thank you all. So I might see you either, I don't know, tomorrow. I bet everyone's probably going to go on tomorrow, right? So maybe I'll skip tomorrow. I think CJ and I for sure are going on Friday night to do some true crimes updates. Oh, tonight there's going to be a pink full moon. I don't know what that means. Kenny, do you want to tell us what that means? But I feel like it's probably a good thing. I love the full moons. I think that they're always a good thing. But yeah, just, never lose faith, I think, is my bottom line. And we're so lucky he's here. And I just love you guys so much. Enjoy the pink full moon. And I will talk to you guys soon. So happy April Fool's Day.